Well, just days after a surprisingly warm Oval Office meeting with President Trump, New York City's mayor-elect, Democratic Socialist Zohran Mamdani is doubling down on calling the president a fascist and a despot, even as he says they agree on the city's affordability crisis. This comes days after the House overwhelmingly passed a measure condemning socialism. Republican California Congresswoman Young Kim said this on the House floor before that vote.
As a Korean American who grew up in the aftermath of the Korean War, I have witnessed the horrors of socialism firsthand. If you want to see the difference between socialism and freedom, just look at the Korean Peninsula at night. South Korea shines with opportunity. North Korea is trapped in darkness. As socialist ideas gain traction here at home, and as our nation's largest city and financial capital has elected not just a socialist, but a communist as mayor, we must firmly demand our capitalist free market system, which empowers Americans of all backgrounds to achieve freedom, opportunity, and prosperity.
Well, Congresswoman Kim joins us now. Congresswoman, thank you for being with us today. Great remarks on the House floor, but apparently a lot of Americans, maybe especially young people, aren't necessarily believing them because, you know, Zohran Mamdani got elected. Why?
Well, look, first of all, let me talk about my quick, why I'm so passionate that we need to denounce socialism. And my parents left North Korea during the Korean War to escape socialism and threats of communism. And I grew up hearing about the dangers of living in those repressive society. And because my parents made the sacrifice to yet again immigrate my family to America, I'm lucky to be living in a land of the free and live the American dream. I want the same for my children and grandchildren. And that's why, as a member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, after decades of being in the United States, I am so fortunate to say that the satellite images in the Korean Peninsula at night is what is going to make the difference between socialism and freedom. That's why I said compare South Korea that shines with prosperity and opportunity, while North Korea is trapped with repression and darkness. And my mother-in-law risked her life crossing DMZ multiple times to rescue her loved ones from the North Korean regime. So I grew up knowing and hearing about what the socialism would do to, one's country, family, and, taking away the freedom.
But there are American young people who didn't have the experience you did, who didn't, start out life in a communist country, who really think that socialism is a great thing. Charlie Kirk talked about it at the Turning Point USA Summit back in July. Listen.
Now, we should boo Zohran Mamdani, but we fail to understand why he is rising. There's a deeper thing at play. Younger voters are trying to get their leaders' attention. We can't afford anything. Homes are out of reach. I'm tired of renting all the time, and I have zero equity to my name. If we do not solve the economic disorder that is facing this generation, from the debts, the deficits, student loan debt, cost of living, then Mamdani will just be the beginning of what you're going to see in communities across the country.
He calls it economic disorder, and it comes under a capitalist system, does it not?
Well, first of all, I was very pleasantly surprised with the Mamdani and President Trump meeting, but I was also relieved to see President Trump giving him a warm welcome to the White House, and they exchanged cordial exchanges. So I think this is what I think was happening. I believe President Trump it was almost like President Trump cheering on a son was returning home triumphantly from a battlefield, right? But their meeting turned out to be surprisingly amicable, at least optic-wise. But I think that's because they both went into the meeting with a purposeful attitude. One thing was certain, they both passionately love New York City, but they have areas of disagreements, but they focus on what they want to do in terms of making life affordable and cost of living and addressing the public safety issues. But behind the closed doors, I think President Trump may have given him some fatherly advice. They cannot find common ground on socialism. But I believe they had a heart-to-heart conversation, and they tried to find common ground on how to drive New York City forward, which in turn would drive America forward. That's exactly what President Trump was doing. And that's why President Trump wished him well. And he said, the better he does, the happier I am, and I'll be cheering for him. To be honest, as President Trump said, I want Mamdani to succeed for the sake of hardworking New York City residents, for the American people. But let's be realistic here. They agreed on what the shared policy concerns are, like the cost of living, rent, utilities, housing affordability, public safety. But I would cautiously watch where they align on how to solve those issues. Remember, President Trump is a conservative populist Republican. Mamdani describes himself as a democratic socialist. We cannot let dangerous socialist ideologies sneak into our nation under the guise of rent control housing and free groceries. Mamdani campaigned on those issues. Americans are not stupid, right? They are worried about affordability, but they also know that freedom isn't free. Everything comes at a price. If you don't pay it at the counter, the bill still comes due. Socialism only swipes your liberties to cover the tab. So I wish we can find some common ground, and I want him to succeed. But again, for the sake of hardworking Americans, and starting with the New York City residents.
Yeah, he has promised New York City a lot of free stuff. We'll see how it all turns out. Republican California Congresswoman Young Kim, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
You bet.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.